What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about Instagram stories. We're going to start rebuilding it from scratch. But first, a Rubik's Cube trick. Okay, you've all seen one of these. You know what it looks like in its end state. One color per side. I like the Rubik's Cube. I'm not great at it, I'll be honest. But I was thinking about why so many programmers like the Rubik's Cube, and I think it comes down to the obvious fact that problem solving is what programmers like to do. So if you don't like to solve problems, you probably should find something else to do. If you have a Rubik's Cube and you already have it solved, one thing you can do to make it look better, in my opinion, when it's sitting on your desk, is make it look like this. I think this looks a lot cooler myself. How do you do this? It's simple. You defy all the rules that you've learned if you learned Rubik's Cube notation. In notation, you never rotate the center column. But for this trick, you're gonna do that. What you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate the center column for each of the three axes twice. So this one, twice, this one, twice, and then this one, twice. And you'll see that brings it back to its preferred solution. So real quick. And voila. Okay, now let's talk Instagram stories. Instagram stories has a lot of features and there's a lot of things you can add to your story. But for now, we're gonna focus on stickers because they represent a lot of the functionality, or they demonstrate a lot of the functionality that is available in Instagram stories. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to create some custom sticker images that you can download and add to a basic Xcode project. I'll probably just make them emojis so that I don't have to worry about copyright issues. And we're gonna enable the user to drag those around on the screen, and whichever the one is the last one they drag will be brought to the front of the view. In future episodes, we'll add support for rotation, zooming, and all the other weird stuff that's in Instagram stories. So it's gonna take a while, but this should be fun. You're gonna learn a lot. Get moving. We're going to start in the assets folder, and I want you to grab the images from the repository. You should find them in an image folder in this project. Grab everything except for the PSD and drag those in. We have a skyline, which will be our background to our story, taco, a monkey, and a flower, which will be our stickers. We need to create a custom class for these stickers. So go into the view controller file, and class sticker is a subview of UI image view, and it's going to have a constraint top, which is an NS layout constraint, and a left constraint. All right, now go into the storyboard, drag an image, and let's go ahead and just make sure this uses all of the space. Setting them all to 0, this will just make sure it takes up the full screen. Set the image to the New York skyline. Now next we need 3 more image views. So drag 1 there. We'll set the constraints to 0 on the top, 20 on the left. Width and height will both be an even 100, so it's a square. Set the image to the monkey and check this for user interaction enabled. Until we check that, it doesn't matter what we do, those views aren't moving at all. Oh, one more thing, we need to make this a sticker. That way we can access the specific attributes we added. Now clone it. Hold down Alt while clicking and dragging. Do that twice. Let's make this the taco and this the flower. We broke some constraints, so we'll fix those. Right click on the taco and drag outside to the left, and it thinks we want to anchor it to the image view, which we don't. We want to anchor it to the main view, so drag it up there, leaving space to safe area. And then do the same thing, this time do top space to safe area, and do the same thing for the flower. I'm right clicking and dragging, let go on the main view, leading space to safe area, that adds this constraint here. Do it again, and this time top space to safe area. Now we need pan gesture recognizers, one for each of those views. So we'll drag one of those in for the monkey, one of those for the taco, and one for the flower. And now we're ready to wire things up. So holding down Command, Shift, and O, type View Controller. Then before you hit Enter, hold down Alt, which is right next to Command, and then hit Enter. That opens the View Controller in the Assistant Editor, which is quite useful. Now we need to add references for these. So start with the monkey, drag that in, right click, drag new referencing outlet, and we'll make this sticker monkey. Second, sticker taco, and third, sticker flower. Okay, now for the constraints. Start with the monkey left constraint. Constraint monkey left. Now do the top one. I can't find that top one here. It might be that, but just to be safe, I'll find it here, sticker monkey top, and drag it from there. It's the same way, it's just easier to see which one you're dragging. Constraint monkey top. Let's give ourselves a little more room in here, and let's separate the constraints from the views so it's clean. And lastly, we need to wire up these pan gesture recognizers. So right click on the first one, grab the selector. Selector is like, it's an action. That's why it's under sent action. So did pan sticker. We're going to wire them all to the same function because it'll save us unnecessary code duplication. All right, making good progress here. Go ahead and close the Assistant Editor and switch to the View Controller file. And we're ready to do some basic coding. First thing we need to do is assign these to the stickers. So let's do that. We'll start with the monkey. Self.sticker monkey.constraint left equals constraint monkey left. Okay. Could run it here if we want and just make sure things are building okay. And all right, looking good so far. When the gesture recognizer calls this method, it's going to pass itself in as the sender, and we need that in order to know how far it's dragged, or translated as we call it, and to know which sticker is associated with it. So let recognizer equal sender as UI pan gesture recognizer. Then we'll also get the sticker as the recognizer.view as sticker. Now, since we want to do something with this sticker and it is an optional, we're going to do something that we've seen before and you'll see a lot in Swift, which is, there we go. Now anything we do in here, we can be guaranteed we have a sticker. Now, a recognizer calls this method in 3 different situations. Once when the finger goes down, numerous times when you're dragging, and then once at the end when you let up. The way to distinguish those is by checking the recognizer state began, else if recognizer state equals changed, else if recognizer.state equals ended. Now we could use a switch, and this could maybe just be an else. There are different ways to do this. I think this is the most clear and easy to read. That's why I've chosen the if, else, if here. You'll notice right now, nothing is happening. If we run this, we can try to drag those views all we want. Nothing's gonna happen. They're not gonna move anywhere. So let's try to move them. Let's get the translation from the gesture recognizer and just move the view by that amount. Shouldn't be that hard. Let translation equal recognizer.translation in self.view, which is the main view. And we'll go ahead and just move the sticker. Constraint top constant plus equals translation.y and sticker.constraint left.constant plus equals translation.x. So that means that we're just increasing whatever the constant already is by the translation value. Now, even though we have a plus here, if for some reason this translation is a negative value, because of the way math works, adding a negative value is the same as subtracting. This should be fine. So this is adding or subtracting the translation value. Okay, so you might have noticed that the stickers are not following our finger. They're way out of control and they're going way too far. What's going on? It's important you understand something core to the functionality of gesture recognizers, and that is that they call the method the action you wire them up to. Those gesture recognizers call them multiple times per gesture. So if I'm dragging a view from here to here, it gets called once when my finger goes down, then it gets called numerous times until I end and I lift up, and then it's called again and the state is ended. The problem is that the gesture recognizer translation function that returns the translation, how much the view is moved, it doesn't reset. If I drag 5 pixels, it's going to tell us in the code that it moved 5 pixels. But then we drag 5 more, and now it's going to say it moved 10 pixels. But we've already moved it 5 pixels, and now we want to try to move it 10 pixels, so we moved it 15 pixels. As you can see, this gets out of control really quick, and that's why the sticker is moving way beyond our finger. What we need to do is keep track of the translation that we've already applied. So we're just going to add a simple class variable that we adjust while we're in the changed state of the gesture recognizer. An adjusted translation in here, and we'll keep track of how much we move that. First, we'll update that here, adjusted translation dot x plus equals translation dot x, adjusted translation dot y plus equals translation dot y. Then up here we'll have to adjust this translation, but to do that, this needs to become a variable. So now we can change it. So that'll be translation.y minus equals adjusted translation.y, and then translation.x minus equals adjusted translation.x. Okay, that's not bad. All right, look at that. Now see, there's a problem. So it works the first time. Ooh, but it's not resetting. Okay, so it's not resetting that adjusted translation when the finger goes up. Easy enough to fix. Reset it there. All right. So now we can move these wherever we want and they retain their position. Pretty slick. One thing we should do, you'll notice if I drag the toggle here and then try to put the monkey on top of it, the monkey's underneath it. The flower's on top, and I can't get the toggle on top of the flower. In Instagram stories, when you drag things around, the last thing dragged gets moved to the front. That is really easy to accomplish. We'll just add a little bit code in here. Self.view.bring subview to front and pass it the sticker. Presto changeo. Monkey's on top, now taco's on top, now flower is on top. Now monkey's on top, now taco's on top, now flowers on top. Okay, that worked a lot better, didn't it? Is there anything else we need to do? Basil says no. I'm sure you can spot a number of problems with this when you compare it to Instagram stories. We have a lot to do here. For one, we're starting with 3 stickers at the top, which is completely arbitrary. There's no reason we would do that. So we need to ditch that and allow the user to add their own emoji or sticker. And we're gonna need some UI for that. And then we need to build rotation. Right now you can't rotate these, and you also can't expand them or contract them, and I think that is essential. We're gonna need to do that. So make sure to come back next week and the week after while we continue building Instagram stories. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new here. See you next time.